Hey, sports fans, it's Larry Eater with RunBlogRun. This is our programming Conversations with Larry, where I spout off on all things. Today, we're going to talk about a beloved coach from the UK named George Gandy. George, for 50 years, was the coach at Loughborough University. Most colleges and universities in the UK do not have track and field teams like we do in the U.S. There's no scholarships, but Loughborough has developed a reputation over the years, and much of that was due to George. He affected athletes such as Seb Coe, Wendy Sly, Lisa Dobrisky, John Brown, and the list goes on and on and on. I met him in 1979, 1980 at the Runner's World National Running Week in San Francisco. George came over, and in that spring, we had all learned about plyometrics and box jumping, which are a lot of the things that Seb Coe did to build up his core training. And in 79, when he set 3 world records in 41 days, people started to take notice. But George was about overall strength, which a lot of American coaches had no clue about. He used medicine balls. He used boxes. He worked on vertical jumps. He wore people out. But what he did is he changed the trajectory for many athletes. I'm going to read a couple tributes from Athletics Weekly, our friends at Athletics Weekly, which I encourage you to check out every day. But Seb Coe, who's a 2-time Olympic 1,500-meter gold medalist and 2-time Olympic 800-meter silver medalist, he was coached by and guided by Gandy through most of the 70s, along with his father. But this is what he said about George. George Gandy, my Loughborough University coach, was an exceptional person and a world-class coach. For both, I owe him an inestimable gratitude. He has enhanced and in many cases changed the lives of so many young people, including mine. We've all suffered a great loss. The next quote comes from Lisa Dobrisky, who in 2009 was the 1,500-meter silver medalist, and in 2006 was a Commonwealth champion. She said, "Trying to sum up George in a few words is so hard. I feel like I could write a book. He was the most wonderful man, and I'm so grateful to have so many stories and memories to cherish. We shared so many highs and lows in athletics. Regardless of the result, he always knew what to say. He would always have a way to put things into perspective. I owe him so much and am truly honored to have had so much of his time. George made time for everyone, and he loved athletics." Wendy Sly, the publisher of Athletics Weekly, an Olympic 3,000-meter silver medalist, was also among Gandy's athletes at Loughborough. And this is what she said. "Sad, sad news today that we lost wonderful George Gandy. Such a great influence during my time at Loughborough in the late 70s. Been a marvelous and knowledgeable companion at many cross-country and track meets over the years. A great contributor to the success of so many athletes. I'll miss him." Jack Buckner was also coached by George Gandy. Jack took the European title in '86 and was a double Olympian. And he noted, "The saddest day, farewell, best coach ever, mentor of generations of runners, guru of Loughborough athletics, and lifelong friend." Dave Moorcroft, the guy who broke Henry Rono's 5,000-meter record, they thought he was a rabbit in that race. He was an ex-Loughborough student, and he was a former world record holder at the 5,000, said, "George was a special man, a great coach, educator, and friend to generations of athletes of all levels at Loughborough and almost across the country. He'll be sadly missed, but never, ever forgotten." He was, from what my friends tell me who knew him, very thoughtful, and he made you feel like you were on top of the world. And as we've talked before here, coaches are exceptional people. They don't do it for the money. Coaches are cheerleaders, confessors, friends, parental units, role models, advisors. They are there when you're doing 6 times a mile repeat and they pull you off after 4. They're there when you are doing 200-meter repeats, and they tell you how fantastic you're doing and how you're ready to roll. And they're there for what John Parker, the American writer, called the trials of miles and the miles of trials. George Gandy was an exceptional coach, and he influenced running for 5 decades plus in lovely England. He was at most of the time at Loughborough. I believe he was at St. Mary's for a while as well. He competed at St. Mary's, I believe. But I just remember meeting him in 1980 and thinking how cool it was and how I had the secret sauce now, the things that I needed to add in, medicine balls and jumping, and then I added doing parkour things, but I learned that from another coach. But it was part of those things that builds up your repertoire as a coach and an athletic advisor. And George Gandy's spirit will live on for a long, long time. Our thoughts are and prayers are with his family and friends, and I hope they build a statue of him at Loughborough. He deserves it. This is Larry Eder with RunBlogRun, Conversations with Larry, and this is our tribute to George Gandy. I will also ask you that if you like RunBlogRun, please like us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And if you love us, sign up on the YouTube. Stay safe. Wear your mask always indoors. Wash your hands 20 seconds often. Keep yourself isolated. If you think that you're around, have been around people who've had COVID or are spreaders, give yourself a little distance from people. You wear a mask because you're not only caring about yourself, but you're caring about others. It's patriotic. It doesn't attack your masculinity. It's not the political right or the political left. And yes, in the United States, you do have a constitutional right to be stupid, but you don't have to use it all the time. Listening to science is good. It's not a right or a left thing. And what science can tell us so far, and yes, they've made some mistakes, but we have mistakes in all human endeavors. What they tell us so far is wearing a mask and cleaning it inside, and when you're out, if you can't be 6 feet separated, and I really suggest 9 to 12 feet, just to be careful. Wash your hands, wear a mask. I encourage people taking vitamin C. I encourage people hydrating well, sleeping well, telling someone you love them every day, complimenting somebody every day. Doing good things, smiling and laughing also is good for your health. So stay safe. Enjoy athletics. Thank you, Mike Deering, for putting up with this stuff and not knowing when the hell I'm going to finish. Talk to you soon.